Y'all, welcome to the very first episode of Pearl Talks. I'm your host, Shayana. Now, listen, out of all the noise, all the voices, all the chaos, and these crazy schedules, you press play on me. And that's crazy. But thank you. Thank you so much. It really does mean a lot because this podcast was born out of silence. Y'all, I spent years shrinking, holding back, and carrying other people's expectations. For us pastors' kids, y'all, if you know, you know. But Pearl Talks is me flipping that script, finally prioritizing my expectations over everybody else's when it comes to my life. And just a quick disclaimer, my vocabulary is wide, but if some slip out, just breathe through it. Clutch your pearls if you need to, because I'm not editing the life out of this podcast. And to be honest with you, I don't even know how to do that. So, full transparency, this is my very first episode. So if I sound a little nervous, it's because I am. I'm not used to talking to myself for long extended periods of time. I like to break it up in increments so they don't call the people on me. But we're gonna figure it out together. People have been asking me why I'm starting a podcast, for what. And truth is, I almost didn't. I looked around and I thought there are 1,000 shows out there, whether it be about motherhood, faith, separation, comedy, because I'm a comedian. But then it hit me. That's the point. Even though there are 1,000 shows out there, there's only going to be one that has my voice. There's only going to be one that carries my scars. And there's only going to be one from my perspective. And that's what makes Pearl Talks necessary. It's not about me being the most influential, not about me being the loudest or the newest, but it's about processing this new season of my life out loud as a mom, as somebody who is newly separated, surprise if you didn't know, laughing when it hurts and crying while it heals, and even telling the truth when it stings. There was one time I was sitting out in my car in the parking lot crying, and then I started laughing at myself because I was crying, y'all, over nothing and everything at the same time. And I thought to myself, girl, if there is somebody else going through this exact moment, I want them to know that they're not crazy, because the loneliness that I felt having to carry it by myself is when I knew I needed this space. So we're going to get into episode 1. And since I'm official now, run my theme song. Where I should listen to conversation. This is Pearl Talks on how I found freedom and revelation. Welcome to Pearl Talks. Like, share, and comment. I know you love it. I'm sharing all my world through Pearl Talks. Oh yeah, that's gonna be fine. That's gonna be fine. All right, y'all, we're going to go ahead and get into today's episode. Did y'all like my theme song? You know what? Tell me in the comments. So, today's title is You Are Not Original, Sis. Now, listen, I know that sounds shady, but I need y'all to hear me out. It's actually good news because what you're going through might feel brand new to you, but it's not brand new to the world. Somebody has walked it before you. There will be somebody that's going to walk it after you. That heartbreak you just went through or going through, that mistake, that diagnosis. The enemy loves to isolate us by whispering things like, you're the only one. Nobody else knows this pain. Nobody can relate. But if we look at the book in Ecclesiastes 1:9, it says, what has been will be again. What has been done will be done again. There is nothing new under the sun. You can pull out your Bible and look at it and fact check me. This is something for us to get excited about because if it's been walked before, it means there's already proof that you can make it through. But I know if I can be real, even with knowing that good news, shame is still going to show up. And shame is a silencer. It convinces us that we have to keep the things that we've been through tucked away, our stories tucked away. And Pearl Talks is my way of refusing that silence. It's me putting my story out loud so maybe another woman will realize that she's not the only one going through it. So I want you to think right now, what's one thing you've never told anybody because of shame? You don't got to say it out loud, but name it in your head. That's the thing I want you to hold up against what's being said today. Here's what I've learned. Every trial comes with a testimony attached. Those who know me, I love words. I took Latin in high school. It's a dead language, but it's living for real. The word testimony comes from two separate splits in the Latin language. Testes, which means to witness, and moni, which is a state or condition. If you put those two together, testimony literally means the state of being a witness. Let's be real. Nobody is saying my life was perfect, and that's the testimony. Because that don't even hit. The pressure, the chaos, the mess, that's where stories get power. That's where your stories gain weight. I'm going to get right back in the book. James 1:2-3 says, "Consider it pure joy, my brothers and sisters, whenever you face trials of many kinds, because you know that the testing of your faith produces perseverance." If we can translate that, it pretty much means that thing that's stressing you out right now is actually the thing that's strengthening you. So let me ask you this. What is one thing you've been calling a problem that might actually be preparing you? What's one thing you've been calling a problem that might actually be preparing you? If you go ahead and write it down, pause this where you need to, and when you're ready, go ahead and press play again. So if you didn't pause, that's fine. But I need y'all to sit with that question this week because that is what Pearl Talks is all about. Not just me running my mouth, but you reflecting on what I've said, applying what you've gathered, and living that thing out loud. I'm going to share this with you. One of the hardest seasons of my life was when I thought God had left me alone. I felt like my prayers were bouncing all over the ceiling. But when I really take time and look back on it, the silence was building muscle in me, perseverance, strength. And when I came out of it, I realized that was my testimony in the making. So we're going to close it right there. I want you to remember, sis, you are not original. And that is the best news. What you're walking through has been walked before. And if there is proof they survive, there is proof you can survive too. Your trial is just your testimony in the making. But now we got to talk about next week. The episode is called The Elephant Has the Mic. And y'all, I decided to bring Christopher on the show. So we're going to talk about our separation, co-parenting, and all the stuff people usually whisper about. But here on Pearl Talks, we put it out loud. And let me add this. We are not swingers. So if you tune in next week, that is not something that you will hear. Yes, he told me what you said. I'm just putting it in here out loud. But to give you a glimpse outside of The Elephant Has the Mic, this first season is called Becoming Her Again. It's about healing loud, laughing harder, and standing tall after sitting with yourself. You can expect me talking about grief, prayers I probably shouldn't have prayed. I'm going to have some fun episodes with my kids and hopefully a couple guests because who trying to sit here and listen to me talk to myself for 9 episodes? Also, there will be moments where I want to see the questions that you all have. A couple of the episodes that I have on this season had me second guessing whether I should be recording this at all. But then I thought, if I'm scared to say it, it probably means somebody else is scared to hear it. And that's exactly why we're going to put it on the mic. So if you got a question that you want me to answer on the mic, check the link in my Instagram bio or on Facebook and drop it anonymously. Or if you know someone who deserves a mic, somebody with a story, a perspective, but they don't have the platform, recommend them. And I'll reach out to them and try to bring them on as a guest. Thank y'all so much for listening to me in episode 1 of Pearl Talks. Make sure you follow, share, and bring your tail back because we're just getting started. Pressure hurts, but it also produces. And that's what makes pearls, and that's why I'm here. Until next time, clutch your pearls if you need to, but never shrink your shine. Bye. Talks. Oh yeah, that's gonna be fire. That's gonna be